Welcome to The Explainer. There's one thing in the corporate world that almost everyone seems to hate, the annual performance review. Today, we're going to look at how AI is set to completely change it, forever.
I mean, who actually looks forward to their annual review, right? It's filled with anxiety, it can feel really unfair, but to really get why AI is such a game changer here, we first got to dig into why the system we've been using for decades is just so broken.
And this quote from HR strategist Jeff Wellstead really hits the nail on the head. For decades, HR's job was seen as, administration, control, making sure all the boxes were ticked. It wasn't really for the people. And that whole mindset turned performance reviews into this judgment day instead of a tool to actually help you get better at your job.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is so fundamentally wrong with this once-a-year model anyway?
Okay, so think about it. The traditional review is built on, let's be honest, a really shaky foundation. First off, it's just once a year. The data it uses, it's basically just your manager's memory, which is almost always skewed towards what happened in the last couple of weeks. And the main goal? It's not really about your growth. It's about creating a paper trail to justify who gets a raise and who doesn't. So of course it feels like this high-stakes, dreaded meeting.
And here's the wild part. This isn't just about having a bad manager. Our own brains are literally wired to mess this up. We're prone to all these cognitive traps, these biases. There's recency bias, where we only remember the last thing you did, or the halo effect, where because you're great at one thing, your manager thinks you're great at everything. All of this leads to what one expert perfectly calls gobbledygook data. It's basically a useless snapshot of an entire year of your hard work.
But what if you could take all that human error, all that bias, out of the equation? What if you could build a system based on actual objective data collected over time? Well, this is exactly where AI enters the picture.
This was the big aha moment for experts like Jeff Wellstead. He said the first time he saw an AI analyze all this complex employee data, he called it his Star Trek moment. He suddenly realized that machines could sift through tons of information from all these different systems and pull out insights that we've just never, ever had access to before.
And this realization leads to a complete shift in thinking. We're moving away from performance management to something called continuous performance enablement. See the difference in those words? The goal isn't to manage or judge what you did in the past, it's to enable your growth for the future using real-time feedback and actual data.
The best way to think about this is the Moneyball analogy. If you've seen the movie, you know the story. It's about using data and statistics instead of old-school gut feelings and politics to build a winning team. That's exactly what's happening to HR. It's about making smarter decisions about people based on facts, not just bias. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, this new approach basically rewrites the playbook for everyone in the company, from the brand new hire all the way up to the CEO.
For you, the employee, this is, honestly, it's revolutionary. Imagine having your own personal Moneyball card. It's like a real-time dashboard that shows your skills, your progress, and even gives you personalized suggestions for training or new roles that would be a perfect fit. The guessing games are over. Now you have a clear, data-driven roadmap for your own career.
And your manager? They're finally freed from that administrative nightmare of chasing you for forms. They stop being a micromanager and become a real coach. They've got rich data right there to have genuinely helpful conversations with you about your growth. And get this, they could even scan the whole company to find the absolute best people with the right skills for a new project.
But the ultimate prize, really, is for the leadership team. For the very first time, they get this strategic 30,000-foot view of their most important and most expensive asset, their people. They can see the overall health of the organization. They can use data to figure out if it's better to train current employees for a new skill or hire someone from the outside. They finally understand what their company is truly capable of. And make no mistake, this has a huge impact on the bottom line. Making bad talent decisions, like laying off the wrong person because of a biased review, costs companies trillions with a T, trillions of dollars globally every single year. When that much money is on the line, the motivation to change is pretty massive.
Okay, but let's be real. Changing something so fundamental to how a company works is a huge undertaking. So how does a company even start this journey without it becoming a total mess?
Well, the experts lay out a pretty clear 4-step plan. And this is key. You don't start with the cool new tech. No, you start with the business problem you're actually trying to solve.
Step 2, you make data privacy and ethics priority number 1 from the very beginning to build trust. Then you create a culture where it's okay to experiment and learn. And, maybe most importantly, you start small. Prove that it works with just one team before you try to roll it out to the entire organization.
So this all leaves every leader out there with a really provocative question to think about. This technology isn't just another HR tool. It is a fundamental shift in how we value and grow our people. AI finally gives us the power to transform the performance review from a system we all hate into an engine for growth that we absolutely can't live without.